This video is sponsored by Lyft. Lyft is a no-hassle taxi service that can be used in many cities throughout the United States from a simple app on your phone and is available 24 hours per day, 365 days a year. It offers competitive pricing, and for a limited time, you can get $5 off your first Lyft ride through a link in the description. In addition, Lyft is always looking for new drivers, and if you qualify, you can use the promo code NINDY to earn an additional $160 in your first 30 days as a Lyft driver. At Lyft, you work when you want, setting your own hours of availability. Lyft offers competitive pay and is a great way to earn some extra money. As always, you can find links to everything regarding Lyft in the description below. This is an interesting video because any minute now, this video can almost become slightly irrelevant, but I wanted to make it anyways because even if a Nintendo Direct is announced, you guys have seen the title of this video, so even if a Nintendo Direct is announced, we need to step back here and take our foot off the gas, slow down the hype machine, and start to be realistic. Now look, I want a Nintendo Direct to happen as bad as anybody else, and maybe by the time you watch this video, it's already been announced, or maybe it's even already happened. I don't know. We have some evidence pointing to the idea that it's happening. First and foremost, I guess the first real evidence was a tweet that went up for a few moments and then was deleted by GameStop, of all people, saying, hey, Nintendo Direct in 45 minutes. This was probably a scheduled tweet that was meant to go out on the day of the Direct, but somebody clicked the wrong day, so it accidentally got published today. Maybe it was supposed to go out tomorrow. Maybe it's supposed to go out a week from today. It doesn't really give us any info on when it's supposed to happen, but at least it sounded like GameStop knew that there's a Nintendo Direct in the works. So there's that. Plus, GameStop has now added 6 brand new SKUs to their back-end system. Here's a printout of it. And yeah, they're just like 6 brand new titles that they're going to have in their system for Switch, probably for pre-order after a potential Nintendo Direct. We also have this tweet from Nintendo, very curiously, with Chibi Robo on fire. I don't really know what this means. A lot of people are saying this obviously has to do with the hype surrounding this unannounced Nintendo Direct, because a lot of people are kind of impatient. There's even a thread on Reset Era about this unannounced game, or this unannounced Direct, that's over 400 pages at this point, with 50 posts per page. That's a lot of posts about people trying to see when is this thing getting announced. It's literally just a thread about something getting announced for future announcements. It's really crazy. And there's been all these rumors that we haven't even touched on here at Nintendo Prime surrounding the event. You know, GTA 5 getting announced, Red Dead Redemption 2 getting announced for Switch, Fire Emblem and Smash Bros. and Pokemon getting announced and being announced for sure this year with a full-on trailer, and a whole bunch of crazy stuff that, you know, would make this almost as big, if not a bigger event than E3 itself. In fact, if you are on social media of any kind, and I suppose YouTube can count as that, the hype levels for an unannounced Nintendo Direct are at an all-time high. In fact, I don't remember hype levels for any Nintendo Direct, even when announced, being this high. I could argue even the January Switch event from last year that was live, the hype levels for that weren't even as high as we're seeing for this Direct. Now, why are the hype levels? Obviously, the rumors flying. You know, the reason that people thought it would be announced today is because there was a rumor about a January 11th Direct, and Nintendo typically gives at least 24 hours notice. They still could. It could be a Direct that happens later in the day, so you know, they could announce at like 5 or 6 p.m. today that there's going to be a Nintendo Direct tomorrow at 5 or 6 p.m. But whatever the case may be, it's crazy to me that there's all this hype surrounding something that we don't even know factually exists. Now we have some legit hints from like GameStop and stuff, and maybe Nintendo's trolling us, and Nintendo of Russia might have hinted that there's going to be a Direct soon. They never really said there's going to be a Direct soon, but like people took some cryptic words they said and are inferring that it means that, and they're doing that because of the rumors and the hype surrounding Switch. This is what we have to remember. Switch was so successful in 2017, and we know so little about when games and what games are coming to Switch in 2018 that I think people are getting anxious. Not because they're starving for content. There's plenty of content on Switch, but because they want to know what's next for their favorite platform they bought last year. And right now, we don't know. We obviously know about Yoshi and Kirby, and then we know there's a Fire Emblem game announced, but we've never seen it. We know that Pokemon's slated for 2018, could be pushed to 2019. We haven't seen it. We know that Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus is coming, but we still haven't seen it running on Switch. We don't, there's so much we don't know about what 2018 is going to bring for Switch, and it feels weird sitting in a month, but this is probably the first month since the system launched that we just don't know what's coming next. We know about some indie titles, and that's about it. We don't really know what the roadmap for Switch looks like over the next 6 months. And that is why so many people bought into this whole, there's going to be a Nintendo Direct this month. Nintendo has traditionally had Nintendo Directs in January. If you look at what they did with Switch last year, it makes sense to kind of repeat it this year, have a big event in January, another big one for E3. But again, we don't know. And even if a Nintendo Direct gets announced today, tomorrow, next week, sometime later in January, we need to take our foot off the pedal and step back a little bit and temper our expectations. Now, I'm not saying I don't want Red Dead Redemption 2 and Grand Theft Auto 5 and a Pokemon and Metroid Prime trailer and Smash Bros. Announced, Animal Crossing announced, whatever crazy rumors you've heard out there, because I've heard from what I've heard, based on the 50 different rumors I have read surrounding this Nintendo Direct, basically every game in the existence of man is coming to Switch this year. Assassin's Creed Origins last year, sure, it's coming to Switch in February. Like, I've heard some crazy stuff, and probably 99% of it is crap. And the stuff that's correct is just guesses that happen to be right, or things we already know, like Fire Emblem is slated for 2018, so if they show off Fire Emblem in this Direct, well, I mean, isn't that kind of sort of expected for a title they already announced for this year? So, yeah, anyways, whatever the case may be, we need to step back a little bit, because I feel like it doesn't matter what Nintendo does at this point, they're going to let people down. And I feel like that might be why Nintendo even maybe trolled us with the Chibi Robo thing, is Nintendo knows. Nintendo knows the hype levels for this Nintendo Direct are so high that it's almost impossible for them to match it. The only way would be some massive unveil that nobody knows about. Hello, Retro Studios, possible new IP, that just blows people's minds. But beyond that, I don't think it's going to be possible to meet it. You might not hear about all the third-party games you want to hear about coming to Switch. You might not get release dates for all the games you want to know. You might not hear enough about Nintendo. Nintendo might only tell us about the next 3 months, for crying out loud. There's also the real potential that the Direct could be heavily focused on Yoshi and Kirby and just kind of be a Yoshi and Kirby Direct. There's also an idea that if there is a Direct, it could be a Nindy Direct, because we do get those sometimes. We need to step back and temper expectations a bit. Especially because, when we talk about Switch, Nintendo has also just recently announced that they are at least supporting 3DS throughout 2018, so we could also get a bunch of 3DS game announcements, which could be exciting. Obviously, I'm not saying that you can't be excited about 3DS games. I think at this point, it's Switch owners that are feeling tepid right now about what's to come this year. And, yeah, I just want all of us to take a deep breath, right? Just breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. I am as hyped as anyone can possibly be for this bad boy, but I'm trying to temper my expectations because I don't want to be let down. I don't want to have a bunch of great announcements come at this Direct and be let down. And I don't want to even be let down if there's no Direct. Because as of the time of recording this video, a Nintendo Direct has not been announced. It has not been confirmed. I even have a theory in my head that Nintendo gave different dates and different information to different people at Nintendo to see what leaked out so they know who to get rid of. Because Nintendo's obviously had an issue with leaks with Nintendo Switch in terms of games and Nintendo Direct announcements. That's why we were so quick to believe all the leaks. And Nintendo might be trying to weed all that out as well. So they could be even trolling leakers, which is going to end up trolling their own fans. And you could argue, is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I mean, it's good if there's going to be a Nintendo Direct anyways. But this is just... It's a frustrating situation. I know so many of you guys are hyped and waiting for this Direct and want it to happen ASAP and want it to be the Direct of your dreams for the first 6 months at least of 2018 minimum, even if they don't mention anything post E3, if they just give us a nice roadmap for the next 6 months, that would make so many of us happy. But we need to be realistic here. Nintendo is not going to have 2 or 3 major events happen every single year. They're not always going to have a zillion games to announce at once all the time. 2017 was really sort of an anomaly. We've never quite had a year like that on Nintendo hardware before in terms of announcements, in terms of major games, and there's no guarantee we're going to have that same sort of year this year in 2018, and that does have some wondering if Switch's momentum is going to slow down, and obviously a Nintendo Direct like this with some good announcements can continue that momentum, but it's hard to separate my hype from reality, but we need to take a step back as much as we can and just give Nintendo a chance to do it on their terms, their way. I think they have earned the right with Switch up to this point for us not to put false expectations on them based on leaks, based on rumors, based on 4chan posts, based on Emily Rogers and whoever else out there. Like, we need to step off of the rumor train for a while now, and let's just get some patience, play the games that are always up there, catch up on our back catalog, and wait for Nintendo to let us know when they're ready to unveil more for Switch, and then go into that unveiling, whether it's a Direct or otherwise, and have some more realistic expectations, right? I feel like the most realistic expectation is a roadmap for the next 6 months. If Pokemon's not coming out to the end of the year, don't expect to see Pokemon at this Direct. If Metroid Prime's coming out after E3, don't expect to see Metroid Prime 4 till the Direct. Or until E3. Like, we need to temper our expectations a bit and just think what's realistic for the next few months. Fire Emblem's probably a little bit realistic. Yoshi and Kirby's obviously realistic, and they might have one more title to throw in there to surprise us, and some third-party announcements. I won't be surprised if we see some more ports from 2017 and 2018, especially as Switch is growing in popularity and third parties want to jump on board. We're obviously going to get announcements of hopefully some major indie titles, but that's pretty much where you should stop your expectations, and just be happy with whatever else they throw in on top, if they throw anything at all. Anyways, folks, I'm Nathaniel Rovajets from Nintendo Prime, praying that this video is still a little bit relevant. I guess it still would be relevant if Nintendo Direct is announced, but I want us to temper our hype a little bit, just a little bit, so we're not so let down. I'm so afraid that no matter what Nintendo does, a Direct or no Direct, that we're going to be so disappointed man, it could kill hype almost for Switch a little bit. I don't want that to happen. Anyways, I'm Nathaniel Rovajets from Nintendo Prime. Like this video if you like it. Dislike it if you dislike it. Subscribe for more content. And as always, folks, I will catch you in the next one.